this is a project that I've been working on for since last summer. I've known Matt, the lead guitar player, now for about 3 years. He actually took my class at USC. I teach the USC summer guitar seminars, their recruiting class for the jazz guitar department. So he took it, a very talented guitar player and vocalist, so we just stayed in touch after that.
Did you try to protect him? Did you die for his sins? Oh, the devil's always whisper. Oh, man, I feel him right within.
Okay, let me tell you, this concept of this band, which makes it kind of real interesting. It's a psychedelic, modern rock band.
So what am I supposed to do with all these diamonds, the ones that paid for love? So what am I supposed to do with all my heartache? She's already with someone. We love to find you, but you never know where you are.
So for me, producing this, it's been my biggest challenge to get everything into a place where we can, present it as finished songs, but allow their psychedelic element to really come out. So to not stifle that and to allow it to be in the music and express itself, but still keep it real succinct so that it makes sense, like in the rock market of today. So that's basically been almost one of my biggest challenges. And I think we've definitely succeeded in that. You'll hear the music still has a real loose vibe to it, a real experimental vibe to it, but we've created songs around that concept.
I'm alright, we're just trying to be in the long game with you.
Yeah.
And if you get it tonight, but then you can't sing tomorrow, we don't win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's almost like, and we already talked, if you have to come back next week and sing one, it's cool. So it's almost, don't wreck yourself just to get it done.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't care if she's a thief, mama. She stole my heart from me. And I don't care if she's in love, daddy. I hope to God it's meant for me.
I feel like I may have rolled it back too much when we did a lot of the recording at 4th Street in Santa Monica, and I've done a lot of the projects there. It's just a really comfortable studio, state-of-the-art equipment, but it feels like you're in your basement. It's just real homey, and just gives a young band the sense of comfort, and it's just really easy to record there. Everybody who works there is just understood the concept and made it real easy for us to get a great product. And it's kind of interesting, you see how they work as just friends, and then it's almost the same thing that comes over to the way they work as a band. So Matt and Josh have been friends for the longest, and they are, the main songwriters, and they've figured out, they bump heads a lot, but that's kind of how you come up with great art. You end up, throwing ideas back and forth, and they're both very passionate about their ideas, and that's how they've come up with some of this great material. And then Zach Apple, Josh's younger brother, fits in real cool as he's the second guitar player and also has taken up the keyboards and is doing a great job. You'll hear some of the solos, like in Graced by God, does a really great piano solo in the middle of there. He's just figured out how to fit in almost, I don't know, as a younger brother, it just works. He has figured out how to get his say in on the music and get his take on everything in there. Sean, the bass player, he's sort of their secret weapon. He's the quiet guy who just comes in and is always solid as a rock, lays his parts down. He's kind of the glue that keeps it all together and the whole thing's solid. He uses that as his power. It's very interesting to see how they work together, make all this work. So, that was part of my thing too as the producer, was to see how to pull all their strengths out of them and keep it cohesive so that they weren't, that everybody was working together. And I guess that's a big part of producing, is just pulling the best out of everybody and making it so it still works. My favorite tune actually is a tune called 8.
Hold every second in as tight as you can. Each breath as if it's your last.
It starts out with just like a drum loop and a keyboard, and then builds into this large, guitar layered event, and gets really kind of wild by the end. And I just love that kind of There's a tune called Graced by God. I come from the Zeppelin era, and there's sections in there that we try to make sound really large and epic, like a classic rock band.
Take back the day. You were my moon and star.
There's another tune that we kind of ended up, they were just jamming at rehearsal one day, and I was like, hold on guys, that sounds pretty cool. So we backed it up and recorded just the jam. That one's called On Your Knees, so you have to hear that one to try to understand what that's about.
From the hippie trash, I'm gonna make them to dash. It's time to erase the past. Can you tell me, money man, will it last?
But that one ended up just coming about from a jam in the studio. It was super cool how that came about. So there's some of the highlights, some of my favorite tunes. I mean, everything in there is really cool, and there's a lot of different moods in here. So in the footage here, you've probably seen, a lot of engineers in the studio, people running around the studio here while we were working. So I want to make sure, give a shout out to all those people. First of all, Kathleen Wirt, the owner of 4th Street. Great engineers over there, Chris Mullings. Sejo Navajas, the assistants Alejandro and Chase, and then we also mixed over at Steakhouse Studios in North Hollywood. Eric Lillestrand was the mixing engineer there. I want to make sure you know about him. He was a big part of the sound on a couple of these tunes. And Mario Ernst, the executive producer, of course, who just kept everything running and just made sure everything kept flowing in the studio. And that's about it. There's some others in there, but they're the main guys who helped us out.